Material women and large
Episode
paper.
2.
That means you inferior,
No ideas
not
original.
major. No ideas original.
Not one.
And Mr. Rob.
It's me, baby.
Yes. Thank you, everybody, for watching episode 1. We can now be found on Spotify, Soundcloud, and PodOmatic. Also, thank you to Jack Frost and the BBN Network for having me as a guest on the Morning Coffee Show on YouTube.
Nice.
So, how was your first...
You working, brother. You out there
I'm
working,
trying.
son.
I'm trying.
You got your foot on the ground. You got your boots on the ground there, brother.
I told you, part of this is promotion, too.
Yes, sir. You did mention that.
How was your first official week of quarantine?
Man, for me, it was all right, but it is a bit much more controlled environment. Watching, you know what I'm saying? Like, especially for me, because I go to dialysis. When I come home, being in an environment, I take my clothes off right there. You know what I'm saying? Go upstairs, get in the shower, and just get fresh. Just because of how this corona thing is moving, and it's moving aerially, and it stays stuck to hard surfaces. So you think about how many hard surfaces around.
Yeah.
UPS trucks is hard surfaces.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All these different things that you got going through your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta be kind of cognizant.
UPS dude come to the door now. Any delivery person, they just sign a tablet for you. They
That's
be like,
it.
I got it here.
That's
Don't
all
worry
right.
about it.
Don't even
Leave
know.
everything in front of you.
You know what I mean? But
house.
you also have to be self-aware yourself too, not to be so frantic and jittery about things, because although the numbers are what they are and they show, and you know how this world is, they like playing with shit. Still take it serious. I mean, wash your hands. Just refrain from maybe some behaviors that you weren't used to, like touching your face and that type of stuff. You still want to be kind of on point with that.
The quarantine for me though, it's been a good week. It's been productive. A lot of work from home. We about to get started on the do-it-yourself project.
How's that affecting your business wise?
From a business standpoint, we had to shut down 50% of our business.
Wow.
You know, so the money is one thing.
A lot of people, there's a lot of entrepreneurs that get smacked.
Yeah, but you know what's most hurtful is to think about the staff. Like right now,
Right.
we have staff that rely on getting paid.
Right.
You know, to make it day to day. And
Right.
I had a situation talk about like how things are aerial and the handling of stuff. So we have our payroll. Probably we have over 100 employees. 5 employees we have don't receive direct deposit, so they still get a hard check. So their checks were supposed to come yesterday. The checks didn't come yesterday, so this morning, Latanya and I got up and we dipped down there early in the morning, like, all right, we're just going to have to write out checks for people. When I got there, the man delivering the check was there. Mind you, he was supposed to be there since Tuesday. And the funny thing about it is, probably from my interactions with UPS, he went to give me the checks. And he was like, yeah, I'm on the phone with somebody. And he tried to put like his phone in my ear. And I was like, just put it on speaker, bro. I don't know you.
Right.
Put it on speaker. But the good thing about it is that they got...
You might have a little something on your jacket or something.
They got their checks. They got their checks a day late. But better late than never. So, for me, it's just seeing like a lot of the staff.
That's dope as an employer that y'all did that, man, to follow through.
Yeah,
That's some of the things that I know most people dealing with their employers. They always think their employers is a bunch full of shit. They always want to do is make money. For y'all to come through like that is dope.
Now, the other part of it is, so if we got 50% down of people who don't work, so we have programs that are actually on site. And those are the staff that, because the state mandated for us to close down, that those are the staff that aren't working. So we've reached out to those staff and we've asked those staff, would you want to take a case or work with a client in their home? And I think only one person actually agreed to it. But the overwhelming response that I'm getting behind the scene from emails or from like the staff calling me, they'll call me directly and be like, look, I just want to say that I'd be willing to do whatever for you guys. But I have concerns for my family, which I respect. And then the next thing they say is, I just want to know that as a result of me not agreeing to do this, are you going to make sure that I come back when this is all said and done? And I tell people, like, look, you got to do what you got to do for your family.
That's right.
Our intentions is not to, this is no fault of theirs. Our intentions is not to, have people out of work. When this is all said and done, we're going to bring back all the employees that we have
on staff.
Yeah.
That was recorded on staff. That's right.
Yeah, man, they good people.
Yeah. Yes. Listen, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah. And then, like I said, we got our DIY project coming up that we're going to work on. So we're gonna do a backsplash in the kitchen. I'm excited about it. You know.
Upstairs?
Yeah. The time we got on YouTube.
Say what?
Yep, we have all the
Listen,
supplies.
let's do it. We're gonna do a home makeovers man cave edition.
Yeah,
Start doing that.
Yeah, man.
Listen, brother. Not like I tell you, now is the time. We're in a time where I'm telling you, information, knowledge, and being aware should be on so paramount for people. You should be out there trying something new, whether it's gardening, go crochet, whatever. Even if you know anything about your history, you know something about your history that you might want to do that some of your past ancestors have done. Try to recreate it or make it better. Now is the time, man. Information is everywhere. Use this energy and this time that we are kind of concentrated and confined, and find yourself and just kind of interwoven with some different
Explore,
things, man.
be productive. We was talking in the car on the way over here about the DJ wave. Everybody now is
listen,
online
yo.
DJing.
I was just listening to SNS. SNS was talking
SNS
about
was online DJ?
I'm gonna take it back to the key. I'm like, what the fuck? What's going on here? And then you got Scratch on there, Scram Jones, Clark Kent. It's like Tony Touch. It's like, what happened, son? Everyone is live and everyone got their own set, which mind you, keeping it real, all them shits was like, damn, which one I go to?
Yeah,
all them shits was hot. But
D
D-Nice shit was, yeah, who was in there? Michelle Obama.
Joe Biden, Bernie Sanders.
That's what doing the White House party, son.
Yeah.
That's what doing them fucking White House parties.
I listened to it on 2 days. I thought it was dope. I feel like that as he continues to go on, though.
I was nice when I heard that because he was playing some joints.
Yeah, the dude was DJing for like 6 hours straight.
I had me a nice little spliff, son. I was right. I was feeling good, son. I was feeling real good.
Yeah, he was on for like 6 hours of quality music.
He had like 120 something thousand.
His followers were, I think he got 1.7 million followers now. Before this, I think he may have been like a 600 or 700,000.
All right, I'm doing the math. A stadium was about 38. Hold on. This dude he got that many people paying attention.
You know he about to get endorsement deals and everything. See, that's my thing.
Pepsi is looking for him right now. We need to do the Pepsi commercial.
Yeah. Respect the D-Nice because I hope that he, he actually get bread and continue to build his brand out of it. But now you see all these other people.
My name is D-Nice.
Popping up, doing it, and I don't want it to become overly commercial. Like I seen the other day, he had Neo pop on.
But look, he got everyone in there. If you got Obama, you got Biden and Obama in there. Son, he was yelling out the likes of everyone you can possibly name.
Yeah, I was saying to Tanya probably like 2 days ago. I'm like, damn, he played all these records. Everybody records. The record label's gonna get in on this. Cause
playing shit I ain't hear since the '80s. Like when your mom's is cleaning up that Saturday
morning,
and all the windows is open, and it's just that summer shit coming through there. It's just like you dancing in the house, don't even know why you dancing, son. All of them, he's playing everything, like back to back to back. His set. It's probably why I said everyone is sending this. Yo, you hear it? About 5 people sent it to me. I'm like, all right.
The power of going viral.
You don't want nobody to miss this, yo.
Yeah, the power of going viral. Like he gotta capitalize on this moment though. I just want to see him get the shine and build his brand. I don't want to see other people try to ride the wave, and next thing you know, it's like, oh, D-Nice was doing it now. DJ such and such.
Nah, son. I don't and all of your likes, like I said, all of the other DJs, they were putting up their little sets, but they got like 1,000.
Yeah, I seen Envy had I think 3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, Envy had like probably 3,000 people, but it's just because like I said, D-Nice went viral. It's a moment. I appreciate it. I thought it was dope. I hope he continued to build his brand as a result of it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was dope for D-Nice to do that. It made me think of BDP and
the T to R 808 is coming.
It's dope right there. It's a kid from the Bronx right there, man.
Yeah. So let's get into this hemp and marijuana discussion.
Wow, now that's a big package to unpack. Hemp and marijuana been here for a very long time, man, and just some little tidbits that I found out about it, man. 75 years after the prohibition, weed was made legal in Colorado. So that's something basic. That's something like right now, 2012, I think it was. Colorado made it legal recreationally. I mean, it's like Nori said, man. You can walk up to a police officer, yo, can you light my spliff? Where are we going with that, son? Yeah. And you know, me being a card holder myself, listen, man. When you talked about, if you didn't know anything about prohibition and where that was going, and how that gave us a president, keeping it real, because the Kennedys were dealing with the prohibition back in the days. Weed is the new wave, or marijuana or hemp is the new wave. And if you look at it logically, from a sense of just agriculturally, all of them, not just the medicinal uses, all of the textile uses, also, you know what I'm saying? There's so many different food benefits, so many different avenues you can take this.
Yeah.
Begs me to question why they made the shit illegal. Us being original people, we're handsy, man. We're naturally people of the earth for doing that. You didn't want that type of power to be in our hands. So you made it illegal for like 100 years. I think it was like 1912. They deemed it, was it Class A, Class 1?
Schedule 1.
It became just like cocaine. So it was
Schedule 1 drug.
White people was thinking if black men smoked it, they was getting raped. All sorts of myths and dumb shit. And now here it is, it's sweeping the world by storm.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So many different things I learned and found out about. I found out in 2015, Obama lifted a ban for it to be studied scientifically. So now that's why I got to the point I was telling you about the cannabinoids. And we have them shits all through our bodies. So the same thing that you'll find in the tetrahydro cannabinoids are the same meridians that are following your body. That's the reason why you feel relaxed. The higher the THC, the more relaxed and comfortable you feel. But one thing about that is that how not hyper aware, but sensory aware, but kind of like just information is coming to you, but it's not making you paranoid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It just has you like, oh shit. I don't know if you know what I mean? Got you really paying attention to the sounds and the sets and how people talk. It has me in my house, keeping it real. Watching my family, like, watching all y'all behaviors. You know what I mean? I'm watching.
In tune.
And ain't the guy, this is Mr. Rob. This is Mr. Rob. I'm like, I'm watching. You know, look, we tell you don't put your bowl in the sink. You put it in the bowl in the sink anyway. You just walk away from it. Then when we say something.
Yeah.
So, but listen, like, and I share this with the listeners all the well, man. Listen, man, find a way in your imagination or whatever you do. You got to start thinking group economics. You got to get with people like mine and start doing things together, even if it's just in conversation, but not just in conversation. Make some stuff concrete.
Action, take action.
Yo,
that's what when I think about it, I think about the decriminalization of marijuana now.
They
is
have
about people,
to.
but you know why? Because they realize it's so lucrative. I don't think that the science behind it, I think people realize the
in Colorado, they're using the tax money for the hospitals and schools, so they're benefiting off of what it's doing. And trust me, it's not people in Colorado, they're not just smoking it. It's not just one happy hippie party. There's so many different, you have between the edibles, the oils, there's some pills. There's so many different forms that help. Like I said, now that the NBA is not testing for it was never on Major League Baseball's ban of drugs. It was never on there. Cocaine, all that shit was on there. But weed isn't, because look at the rigorous play these guys playing. The inflammation.
162.
So when they're down for 2 weeks, the niggas is in the locker room smoking on the injured reserve list because it helps with inflammation. Like I said, them THCs and the CBs, short for the CBDs, them CBDs are in how many different meridians? You know, I went and did my research. Your brain, your lungs, your vascular, your colon, your immune system. Since we all immune to shit now, we got our immune system all attacked because of corona. Your muscles, your reproductive system, your spleen, your pancreas, and your liver. All of those are CB1 or CB2 receptors. That's what cannabinoids are, receptors. There's something that triggers right to the brain. The brain tells you what to do, what the body to do, and that's how the brain functions. Without it doesn't need your help.
Yeah.
It needs you to know that that's in there, and for you to do something about it. And one of the crazy things, I know we'll get into it with the 5G, is that most people see what we're doing. Two things they forgot how to do, brother. Their involvement with drinking water and knowing how to breathe.
Yeah. I want us to profit off of it also. Like, I don't want it just to become big business for the government because they believe it's lucrative. Because you think about what the government is
That's
made
our
off for.
reparations.
Made off for
That's our reparations right there.
So all of our look at
Take
how many
advantage
people
of that. You can't say you don't know about it.
Yeah. Look how many dudes we know that's been locked up in prison, got criminal records as a result of marijuana. Yeah, as a result of marijuana. And now here it is. It's lucrative. It's big business, like publicly traded.
But the same thing that look at with Budweiser and look what Hennessy is. That was a prohibition. They were selling alcohol and it was illegal.
Mm-hmm. And that's where I think that we're gonna go with marijuana. Also, that
the prohibition way, son.
Yep, that's exactly
where it's going, and that's why now is the time. The lady, the consultant at my dispensary, she comes to me all the time. She always look at me like when you're ready.
Yeah.
And she said, "Look, that's just what you gotta have on the table." Doesn't sound crazy from a numbers perspective? Hell yeah, because I'm not.
Put the numbers out.
But so yeah, but you're not. But you gotta say them. That's why I said, I ain't worried about the money. I ain't worried about the money. In my crazy mind, fuck, I don't know where the fuck I'm gonna get the money from, but I ain't worried about the money. But you have to know it in order to see it, to say it.
Yeah.
Come on. So I said, look. in my mind, like, damn, my brother-in-law is kind of a chemist. I can maybe swing a lab tech somehow. You know what I'm saying? And we go in there and make whatever the legislation that has on the state of Connecticut allowing them to use it medicinally. They're going to need to see some viable people when it comes recreationally that you're astute enough to deal with those things. Like, you're on point. You're not there to be playing around and start running some Nino Brown institution. You know what I'm saying? You're starting a farm. You're growing a farm for multiple purposes, and you have to outline what those purposes are. Are you going to be selling them in pill form? Are you just going to be selling edibles?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason for the lab techs and the chemists. Because they need to know the balance of THC and CBD to go into certain things. Because you're not going to have people out here floating off the fucking...
High as hell.
Yeah, son, that don't know how to control it. Remember, these things is all controlled substances, just to say. You know what I'm saying?
High as hell.
But let me tell you something. You know, I know some brothers who have got to CBD, and just the CBD, and they're helping people who, you know, didn't walk too well before. You know what I'm saying? And that goes into the healthcare, man, and the things that we're not getting. Something as natural as that I know people personal have grown it right on their porch, just for themselves. They got little mason jars, they nice little blueberry seed that they get all the time. But they keep it to themselves. It's almost like a closet thing. Like, ain't nobody see it, nobody know it, nobody know I got it. So
look at now how common smoke shops always been around the hood, but you go in the smoke shops now. The smoke shop got CBD oil. You go in the mall. I was in the mall in Trouble, and in the mall they have everything you could imagine that could be made. CBD. Oh, we have, pills, oil,
and like
edibles,
I told you,
whatever it is you want.
Those CBD receptors that I just explained to you from the brain through the lungs. They need stimulant. Where do they get the workout or the nutrients or the sustenance from? Do we know that comes from water? Does that come from the fruits and vegetables that you're eating? And these are meridians and these are things that, like I told you before, there's so much to unpack that, we don't know about this country we live in and the people that we're around, and just us as people in general. There's so many layers to this shit, son. Yeah, we got a lot of work. And it's good, honest work, because it's almost like brand new ideas and dreams that it's like, I can actually think like that. And actually manifest that. You know what I'm saying?
By them requiring, it's what is it, 2 million?
2 million. You need 2 minute liquid, not just fucking around. You need that shit in there.
Not 2 million.
So you need
collateral.
4 million.
You gotta be able to.
You gotta be able to say when you hit this. Say, you can hit the 2 million coming right out your motherfucking chunk.
You think that's designed to keep us out the game?
Well, at that level, of course, because who, you know, someone gonna, you know, anyone right now is gonna give you 50 grand without no questions because you got a great idea. It'd be like, worse not here.
Yeah.
I don't.
But you know, here's the you make a good,
I know I can maybe pitch an idea that has some people interested, but I got to think crazy like, yo, I need 100 grand.
Yeah, you make a good point though. Look at it. Think about, and this is probably comparing apples to oranges, but look at when people put ownership groups together, right, for sports teams and stuff like that.
Right.
Why couldn't we put together an ownership group amongst people that's like-minded or showing interest and say, all right, between all of us, we have the resources that we could actually build and do this.
Keyword like-minded, bro.
You know, I mean, two million is a lot. 2 million is a lot to get, and like you said, if people actually did the research and seen the benefits of doing it, not only from a monetary standpoint, but from a medicinal standpoint, and just kind of got ahead of the curve and realized this is the way that this is the way that we're going.
Textile, paper, biofuel, ropes, linen. It's stronger than cotton. Like I said, first pair of Levi's were made from hemp.
Yeah.
This puts honest industrial kind of work back into play. Even though, like I said, my brother-in-law has his stitching print system called Prince out in Mount Vernon. And the equipment he's using to put and stitching, not the silk screen. Shit is in there for life, like your fucking polo joint. And you look at the craftsmanship and the work, I said, yeah, he had to pay something. You pay for equipment like that to make that type of product. And looking at what he's doing for all these different, it could be the EMS to the fire department. They're looking for professional embroidery. I'm like, that shit is dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Putting that type of manpower back in there, offer something we can grow right here, son. Yeah. That's like farm to table. Right from your house.
Yeah.
But that's agriculture. That's why we were brought here as slaves. No, we were brought here not as slaves. We were brought here as farmers and people who can cultivate the land. Mm-hmm. And when we got here, there were people that knew the same fucking thing. We mastered that.
We gotta make sure, we gotta figure out a way though not to allow this to get away from us and allow this to be prohibition all over again where people get rich. And then the other part of it, I'm thinking about how long it's gonna be before you go to the store and they be like at Walmart, oh yeah, hey, we have this strand. The weed aisle.
Shit is next to fucking cookies, right?
Yeah, we have this strand.
Keebler's.
Yeah.
Keebler got his own brand of chocolate.
Yeah, where they
chocolate
monetize
Dutchess.
it. I personally believe, though, again, that the government realizes big business, it's money to be made off of it. People in the inner city have made money off of it.
The only people that it wasn't illegal for was them. So they could smoke it. They've always been smoking
the stuff that we've made, the money that we've made in the inner city off of it is going to be pennies compared to what the government is going to make off of marijuana. And these leagues, like you said, these leagues realize the direction we're going.
Me knowing what I know, as much useful land as it is, it's almost a win-win. It's the earth, B.
Yeah.
As crazy as that's been sound, and now we have, the accelerated way of plant life, which I dibble and dabble in, which is aquaponics and hydroponics, where you're growing plants in an enclosure. Mm-hmm. Without it having to use soil, but you're using water and sometimes grow beds in certain other ways, or a raft where it's floating in water. But you get the same product, you get the same tasting. You know what I'm saying? But it's just an accelerated way of how nature does it.
Yeah. Science is amazing, bro.
Science is amazing, son. And these are the things that we. I'm not trying to convert nobody into anything, but we need to kind of just try something, man. Yeah. Try something different, because we're all not gonna be DJs. And like I heard an elder say, I heard an elder say,
I'm going live tonight.
He said, we did come from kings and queens, but it wasn't just kings and queens that lived in them villages. There was
That's a
doctors,
fact.
lawyers,
Architects.
They all lived in the same community with the king and queen.
Yeah.
We allowed them to be because they was just majestic. It was like, they good people. We can hold them down. And you think about, look what they do for Prince Charles and them.
Yeah.
England just hold them down. Like, that's the monarchs. You just get them a pass. They can walk around with crowns and diamonds. Come on, man. But what you got in London? Architects, businessmen. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Yeah.
Let's get our shit back, yo.
Yeah. I was showing you a few minutes ago the Drink Champs interview with Lamar Odom. Yeah.
Wow.
And that kind of to segue into the next topic that we was talking about a little bit, the growing up in the city and the effects of the PTSD, that
Are you from the Bronx? Give me a good Bronx. You got it.
Yo, oh my God,
Son.
coming from the Bronx.
Bronx is PTSD.
Yeah.
Shit. Come
Look,
on,
I
son.
remember as a kid. So when I was born, I lived in Twin Parks, right across the street from the Bronx Zoo.
Mm-hmm.
The hood of the hood. And I remember as a kid going out to the store with my cousin, maybe at like 5 or 6. Back then at 5 or 6, you could be outside.
So
Everybody knew everybody in the
If you
hood.
were 6 or 7, you cross the street.
Yeah.
As long as if the store was right there, that's as far as you going.
Yeah, and that's where I would go across the street to the store. And I remember seeing a dude, like a body laid out in a courtyard from the building across the street. Dude dead. I don't know if he jumped off the roof.
That was our world right there.
Or exactly. So you think about it, like the stuff that we see growing up in the Bronx as kids is the stuff that veterans see and experience.
Acquiring or getting PTSD doesn't have to be from direct. It's not direct trauma.
No,
it's
it
indirect too.
Yeah.
You can hear about a situation,
vicarious,
replay it in your mind as if you saw it yourself.
Yeah,
creates trauma. Which and you think about it, we are masters of trauma, man. We ain't Doctor. What's her name? Joy DeGroy. I think I'm saying her name wrong, but she did something about PTSD, but she called it slave disorder. She ain't call it
post-traumatic slave disorder.
She didn't say stress disorder. She used slave, but she said psychologically, the psychological damage that we got after slavery, and then not have actually had to deal with Jim Crow, then the civil rights. Yeah. There hasn't been any psychologist checking us out to see if we all right.
Yeah, but
there hasn't been nothing, not even documented.
The sad thing about it, though, is that we've become conditioned to believe that that's the way of life. Like, look, I'll tell you this. Tanya's uncle was saying to us, like, he lives down in Georgia. And one day we were just having a conversation, and he was like, yeah, the cops stop me every other day. And he was cool with it. And I was like, you think that that's all right? But we become...
Joy DeGroy.
Yeah, but we become conditioned as people to believe that this stuff is acceptable. You grow up in the hood. Think about how many people in the hood you probably know that passed away before their 20th birthday, right? What's the life expectancy in the hood, you think?
One of my buddies died at 17, son.
Yeah. I could think of a number of people that died before they was 20 years old in my hood.
And he died to violence.
Yep.
He died right in front of his mom, son. Got shot. And she was dying in his mom's arms, son.
Yeah.
17. And to hear that, and you in high school, it just rings in the hallways, and all of a sudden, everyone knows that happened. Mm-hmm. And they saying, did you hear? It's like, what? So-and-so died. You stuck like, what? Nigga got shot? The fuck? It's 10 a.m.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I've experienced so many people in the hood that I know growing up died that it became like a...
But violence became so permeated in the hood, it became part of bravado or just survival. Some people just feel like they do that book, The Crack Era, son. Mm-hmm. The violence that was going on.
Paints the picture.
From, like I said, from 84 to 96, just murders and homicides, 27,000. In 12 years, 27,000 of our young brothers, male or female, shot or killed because of that era.
Yeah.
Took out a chunk.
The exposure to drugs is real. Like, there are people that I grew up with, that were upstanding people in my neighborhood that
let's talk about trauma.
Drugs.
Let's talk about trauma, and especially in today's world. trauma is just a category of fear. It's an uncomfortable feeling. You gotta remember, the body produces chemical for every instance and every cause and effect. So one of the worst things that you want to invigorate or have chemically flow through your body is cortisol. That cortisol is toxic. That's what gets most of the acid in your body versus the food and the shit that you drink that breaks down and turns into acid.
Yeah.
Your thoughts are just as acidic.
Yeah.
So you replaying, because post-traumatic just means you replaying shit in your head that you don't want to fuck around in your head, and you get stuck in there thinking, now you become this pessimism that you think things is going, every time you turn a corner you're going to hit a kid or whatever the case is. You don't like driving. I know some people are just terrified of driving, terrified of computers, it's terrified of shit.
Yeah. But then the hypervigilance.
And you're building, you're telling your cells in your body to be always paranoid, son. Never just easy, never just cool. Some people say, right, we too laid back. Nah, I'm looking at y'all niggas. Some people don't be like, I'm watching you. You just don't think I'm watching you.
The hypervigilance though that we have as a result of trauma. I don't think I realized it until my youngest son. You know, he's someone who, as he's gotten older, we've had eye-opening discussions where he's come to me and he's said things like, oh, you know, it's because you guys grew up in the Bronx. This is the experience that you have. And part of it is the world, right? So all this shit is always going on in the world. Regardless
we
where
were
you
unique
live.
to get through.
Yeah. But we carry those experiences from our childhood in the Bronx. We know what a
whole entire block looks like burnt down.
Yeah.
In school or church. All burnt down to the ground.
Yeah.
So the whole entire hood.
Yeah, the whole hood.
Just to get to the store.
Yeah.
That same store we looking to get to, we bear witness to that.
Yeah.
Early as in our formative years. I think that's what makes a lot of us strong is knowing you come from that. This is a cakewalk.
Yeah. How do we change, like, turn the page generationally though? Because coming from that, I know for me, coming from that, and the environment we in though, I still walk around and I'm still in tune with that's what life is, and I project that onto my children because these experiences that I've had. I said that, you know, I've grown up and I'm like, this is the way the world is, but the world is not that way for them.
Think for us being black people, we get so easily influenced because we want things to be well. That as soon as something comes along that appears to be well, we jump on it. We're so Europeanized, it's ridiculous that we don't have any culture. You ask what our culture is, like Craig asked my son, your culture is Louis, Gucci, all of the fine brands that you think are high quality. That's what you put your culture on. You know what I'm saying? You don't put your culture in building something with your fellow man. If you know your neighbor's a carpenter and you're good at just electronics or whatever, y'all put something together. You know what I'm saying? Those type of camaraderies you build, and not who's the flyers. You know what I mean? But that's what culture has. American culture, European culture has done for us. We gotta find other ways, man. And being makers, being owners, is something that we have to start putting our hands into. Become makers or owners. We've always been inventors, but being owners of property, owners of land, owners of something substantial, that when your children have it in their hands and they look at what you built, it's like, I got it. I know exactly how my pops is gonna run this. Yeah. Because I watched them do it. You know what I'm saying? And if it isn't of their will to take over, hopefully they get investors and do right with it.
Yeah, I looked at Lamar Odom and said that this is a damaged man. And, you know, he has a lot
trauma.
He's experienced a lot of trauma. He had the loss of his son. He's an addict. You know, I was saying to you earlier, like, whoever his publicist is or whoever put him in an environment where he would be on Drink Champs with, you know, weed, liquor, talking about women, all of his vices.
All of his vices.
Yeah, that's just a recipe for disaster. The interview in itself, though, to me, it definitely wasn't the best Drink Champs interview that I ever seen. But I think Nori cleaned it up. at the end, and the reason why I think it's gonna go viral and a lot of people are gonna watch it is just based on the
It was great
trailer
about
and the
Nori.
response.
Nori, even in his music, Nori has personality. You know what I'm saying? He has his own
He's
language.
charismatic.
Yo, son, he has his own language. You know what I'm saying? Some of this shit, bakata. He just says shit, yala. He just say shit just comes out of his mouth. It just flows like that's what I was supposed to say. So fuck it, whether it makes sense or not, it was put together that way. And you know, he's definitely respected too. So you don't want to get out of pocket. He rolled with his dude, son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with all that being said, he knew how to, you know, like, chill, you right? We can talk outside. You ain't got to get. He knew how to handle it. Because he kind of, you have to figure that someone who is, like you said, all of his vices right there between the alcohol. He asked that what kind of weed is that. It's like, brother, you know, it's easy. We're just here to talk, man. You don't have to reach for it, son. It's not there as a temptation. But someone who is weak, who, you know, has a history of
Or in recovery.
relapse
Yeah,
and recovery.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if he thought that was the setup, I would see from his point of view, yes, that is. Fuck, you gonna put all the alcohol and weed, talk about bitches. You know, this is hip hop, son. We talk about everything, and Drink Champs, they talk about everything, son.
Yeah. He knew that.
He hasn't gotten to the point where he can express that as if that was a period in my life and I'm no longer a part of that life.
Yeah.
He's still battling with that, and then he got so much going on with Kobe. That was his man. He was part of the championship teams.
Yeah.
And he doesn't do well with death and stuff. So
Yeah.
not everyone is gonna be is a superhero behind it. There's stories where some people they're not strong enough.
Yeah.
Man.
Between his issues as it relates to addiction and the trauma that he's experienced. Watching that video is like one of them things that in another life I'm a licensed therapist, and I was watching that, taking that apart, like, oh man, like this he needs somebody to come and put an arm around him. Nori's co-host was like, you know what, turn the camera off, because he's seen him unraveling.
Well, look, some of the symptoms, right? Outbursts of anger for a foreshortening of a future, just thinking that you're not going to live past tomorrow. Hypervigilant.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying?
The hypervigilance is what I was saying though. Like the hypervigilance that we have, that we pass on to our children. Like, so we remove now from the inner city, but even with us being removed from the inner city, the expectations that we had as children living in the inner city, we put those expectations on our kids. So, everybody, anytime my son be like, yo, I'm spending the night at my friend's house. Who your friend? I need to meet your friend. Let me see what your friend going on.
Social Security, I need to know everything. Got bus pass, got license.
Because we're conditioned. We grew up with our parents.
I do that
doing
with
the
Keon.
same thing. Yeah.
Keon had this young boy pulling up. Your son.
How you get that car?
See your license, son. Getting a handshake. Yeah, son. Yo, get out. Stand up. I had to really size him like, you little big, son. What you eating?
Yeah.
You had breakfast today? I'm getting in this grill, son. He's like, yes, sir. And I'm like, you sure? All right. What's your name again? And she's like, Mr. Rob.
Where you live at?
Yeah, son. But he was a good kid. He actually appreciated me checking him like that, because he said most people don't. Listen, man, that's where we come from.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I guarded my sister for years. So she ain't messing with knuckleheads anyway, but fuck. It's just something what we did in the inner city. It's what we did in the Bronx. You protected your own, you protected your family. And Bronx is communal living. We running gangs. We running packs. We're always a part of a clique. There's always 5 or 10 of us that are really cool, or, you know what I'm saying? Or you even might find a fucking community.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I come from so many different communities, living in the Bronx, growing up in St. Mary's. I think I left St. Mary's Projects, Jackson Avenue, when I was about maybe 8.
Oh, you down by Jackson? I used to live on Union Avenue.
My man DJ Fish, shout out to DJ Fish, that's my man, son. And seeing him doing his DJ thing, it's like, wow, this nigga's DJ. But nah, son, my early formative years was there, living with my grand aunt, not even my aunt, it was my grandmother's sister. and my mom's being young, and my mom's is from Fenton Avenue and Boston Road.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So I would go back and forth.
North
Jackson
South.
Avenue,
Yeah.
Boston Road. Just back and forth, back and forth. The mother said, you know what? You're going to live with me now. And I was like, oh, shit. That's different.
Yo, the North and South Bronx very different, though, because I lived in the South Bronx and then moved up to the North
Two
Bronx,
different
too.
worlds, son.
But you know what's crazy?
That's what I mean.
Yo, North Bronx
I
almost
went
like
from
living in the suburbs if you live
I
in the
went
South
from
Bronx.
hell yeah, because I went from playing the way you play in the Bronx, whether it was nasty mattresses or running through abandoned buildings, running to a store that had Pac-Man, and then I come up here and I'm like, yo, they got swimming pools, like clean swimming pools. I can walk in the grass barefoot. Couldn't walk nowhere in the Bronx
doing that at
barefoot.
St. Mary's.
No, see, because you was actually having bottle fights.
Yeah, but St. Mary's did have an indoor pool.
Yeah, but you was only able to go. It was no, you could go there as just regular kids, but it was better if you went with a summer camp.
Yeah.
Because then you had the pool just to yourself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I've been through that. So, you know, there was amongst all of what we had going on in the Bronx at them times, even during the crack era, there was always still some strong semblance of some connectivity, some sort of family oriented.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, like I said, a lot of people did make it. Lamar Odom was one of the people who fell through the cracks in New York City.
Yeah.
Man.
You know what's interesting? Like, you think about back then in the inner city. You were a kid and you had a responsibility. Like you said, you gotta look out for your sister. You know, it was all this responsibility. But the reality of it is that a kid is supposed to have the opportunity to just be a kid and not have that responsibility. But we become, again, we're conditioned to believe like this is just a way of life that you take care, you look out. But now you remove, like, I'm
hardened.
here. Yeah.
We become hardened because of a repetition of wanting to survive, and then it became survival.
A way of life.
Survival
it's
became
a way of life.
a way of life. You knew how to break bread with your peoples. If you went and got a turkey and cheese, you got half. I sip half of the snapper, you got the rest.
Mm-hmm. You had bread, you had a snapper. We used to get the 50-cent juice.
Son, those is the big one with the
The
dollar.
coin?
Yeah, son. But at mommy's store, a turkey and cheese on regular white bread or even wheat bread with a tomato and mayonnaise and a Snapple for something that was the dinner. That was breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if someone came out and he looked like he didn't have, you just gave it to him.
Yeah.
He's like, just here, son.
We used to have a store. We used to call it the store on the hill. Get a hero for $1. Nobody knew what the meat is. We used to call it mystery meat.
Yeah. Jesus.
Mystery meat hero.
That's dangerous. There's a lot of them stores.
You know, Heiko, back then your stomach was like a fallout shelter. You had the ability to actually digest all kind of garbage. You get older, it's like, nah, that's a done deal. But
you want to know another traumatic? That we on trauma. I got a lot of trauma.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, think about. I'm telling you, like, I know a lot of dudes in my hood before
what's
they
trauma?
were 20 dead.
9/11.
Oh, 9/11 was
That's what you call
everybody.
That's the that's how you get trauma, directly and indirectly. Because even the stories, hearing like that, and I tell you a quick story. I was living in Maryland, right? I got myself in a little trouble. I was at court, and we going to court. I'm going there to, appear or whatever. And right as court was in session, a detective running there said, "We're under attack." They just bombed the Pentagon.
People took
the
off,
silence
right?
is like, niggas stood up like, hold on. I know what the Pentagon is. And people started scrambling. The judge started hitting the gavel. Everyone have a seat. And she allowed him to speak. He said, it's not very clear, but what I'm understanding, everyone got hit. There must have been a walkie-talkie signal that we're under attack. And that's when I was like, wow, what's going on? And we found out that the Twin Towers had already come down. And they hit the Pentagon, but there's another plane. That's the one I think that went to Philly or whatever, or to Pennsylvania or something like that, right? So, of course, you get caught up in the whirlwind. You see that. I lost a friend in that.
Damn.
You remember my man Lloyd, good dude, son. A Caribbean dude. I know his brother Norris too, but I think he was in the Navy in there. And I think they had a prison in them fucking towers. If you did you read in fucking in crack era, was it Kevin Child saying he was down there?
Oh, no, he was in MDC.
He was in MDC.
Yeah.
That wasn't. Was that in the area of the towers?
It's not far from it. But,
Yeah, because he was saying while he was there, them niggas tried to blow up in '93. They tried to remember that shit. So they been wanting to take that fucking building down for the longest.
Yeah.
But having it viewed on television, people seeing it,
people responding to it.
I remember there was a recording of someone hearing of them inside the fucking building, and when it started coming down, they even had that shit recorded. I'm like, hold on, son. This shit is this talk about trauma.
Yeah.
That stopped everywhere because prior to that, you was able to fly without an ID.
Mm-hmm.
All you had to do was bring your ticket.
Yeah.
You can go anywhere you
the
want.
level of scrutiny definitely went up.
There were so many different technologies that hadn't yet hit, but the trauma of that. But then after you start hearing about it, then you find out the curveball shit about 9/11. So you saying when we go through these traumatic situations, there's always a tug and pull. There's always a reason for it and a reason not that you ain't see yet.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that from a traumatic standpoint, it fucked me up. But I was like, but damn, they did all that to now set the tone for people getting used to trauma. Because ever since then, every year, every 2 years, it's consecutive. You got to keep people in fear, man.
Yeah.
And people forget about just being at themselves. Now, you know, the turn of maybe the last 3, 4, 5 years, you see more people talking about meditation.
Yeah.
See people taking it easy and
Mindfulness,
mindfulness.
self-care.
People, the sisters are doing more spa dates, and there's more of the relaxation and kind of just being calm. Hence why we're doing what we're doing now.
Yeah.
And we should take good advantage of that shit because we're all suffering from PTSD, son. At some level, you've heard whether you was in a car accident, that's PTSD.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Coming from where we run, shootouts is PTSD. Them fights in the club, you see someone get smashed.
Yeah.
Get PTSD. Or you might have been in a club fight.
Yeah.
That's PTSD. Hearing your mother argue or screaming, yelling. Rearing kids is PTSD. Because I told my mother today, I was scared of you, son.
Seeing the police.
And I'm
Seeing
6'2".
the police
I'm
beat people
6'2",
up.
200 now. But that's the reason why, one of the reasons why I never dibble-dabbled on the block like that. I was scared of my mom's, B.
That retribution. Give you that heat.
Because when she came through the block, she was coming through in a storm. My mom's a walk through the hood, full length, full Kurt, just coaches sashaying through the whole. You know what I'm saying? Like, they go Trinae. That's Robin Monet's boat.
Get your ass in the house.
What? She had no problem with screaming your name 5 blocks away. Because people are coming like, yo, Rob, your mom's looking for you. Oh, shit, all right. Probably got to go to the store or some shit like that. But that was uptown in the Bronx, how my moms did it, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a way of life.
And it's just, like I said, trauma comes in so many mirrors, but we're used to it. We don't even get no psychotherapy for trauma.
Yeah.
When you got white kids, though, now that they call it PTSD, it's just something we go through.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Part of the reason why I think we don't get psychotherapy though is the stigma associated with it. But I do think that now there's been an uptick on actually people being more mindful about their mental health.
But you know,
mental health is the cool thing. There's a buzzword associated with it now.
You know what's bringing that to light? You familiar with epigenetics?
No.
Epigenetics is, but they're finding in science that the behavioral patterns that you endure during that trauma become part of your cell life. So you're reproducing it. So it would naturally be a part of your sons or your grandsons if they meet those same criteria. Mm-hmm. They're gonna feel the same way you would feel in that time. They're not gonna be so overly revolting. They'll fall right in the suit, just like how you fell right in the suit, based on the genetics. You know what I'm saying? Not that everyone is susceptible to that, because you know everyone has their own mind, but I think that's epigenetics is showing that science now.
Yeah.
That even of your ancestors of old, if they were carpenters, or if they were lawyers, if they were architects, if they were builders, you should have that same quality in you epigenetically. You know what I'm saying? That should be running through you as well.
Speaking of technology, because I know you mentioned technology also. 5G is now
What
here.
is 5G?
Now here's the thing with 5G. So, well, before we even go into 5G and the correlation that everybody's talking about with the coronavirus,
Right.
you know, I think people when they hear 5G, they automatically grasp and understand that, you know, from the perspective of cell phone providers and everything. But what people don't realize, and I actually looked this up, and I was bugging off of it in terms of 5G, right? So,
oh boy, they frying niggas up like a sausage out here, son.
5G, 1G, 2G, 3G, and 4G use between 1 to 5 gigahertz frequency.
Talk about it.
5G uses between 24 to 90 gigahertz frequency. Why is such a broad leap? And then there's the other shit with 5G too that's crazy is that, so for 4G, which people go crazy of 4G to blazing speeds, 5G is going to require them to put even more towers in place. So they're predicting and saying in order for 5G to work successfully that they would have to have a tower like every 2 to 3 blocks. Could you imagine that?
And that's the reason why New York is getting it the worst, because they can't get the people off the street to plant them shit. That's really the home run, because they've already established it. Where did they establish it first? Wuhan, China.
Yep, Wuhan.
The first place that they got it to work substantially. Now 5G, if you know what that shit is, actually 5G from a weapon is a crowd control, son. That's what they use to disperse a crowd. Are you kidding me, son? What the that shit is a weapon. Because bodies are electrical, and we already got waves that go through us. Now, just think about this from an historical standpoint, how it correlates to pandemics, right? 1917, the Spanish flu comes out. But what's introduced? Radio waves. The first time the humans have even had that type of wave go through them. 20 years later, we have World War II. It's a pandemic at that time. Now we got radar waves going through us. A few years after that, Vietnam, I think it was Korean or Hong Kong, flu, whatever was coming out, satellite waves. So every time they want to implement, keep people quarantined, is give them an opportunity to kind of just survey the land with less occupancy on the land to see if these things will work. 5G, what it's designed to do, or what it can do, is cause you oxidative stress. That means usurping the oxygen in your body. And if you know anything about oxidation of water in your body, how it works with free radicals is something that you ingest both from public, meaning pollution, toxin, alcohol, smoking, all that, metals, motherfucking chemtrails that's in the air that you see go above you, how you think of clouds that are not. Them shit's got barium and aluminum and titanium, all sorts of particles, all that. You're ingesting all that stuff through your chi. You know what I'm saying?
What do you say to people?
But if you're not oxidated enough, if you're too acidic, and your body's not alkaline, remember your pH balance as well. That's potential hydrogen. Where do you get your most hydrogen from? The air. And then secondly, the water. But what I told you earlier, people don't drink enough water, and they don't know how to breathe.
Yeah. What do you say to people when people say the amount of exposure that we have to electromagnetic fields?
Well, they ain't drive us crazy, but this is my point. 5G, if you get that to work, that means your body is under that scrutiny and attack all the time. So you're going to have more free radicals running your body because you're breathing in all sorts of toxins and metals, whether it's your fucking cleaning products or whether someone's back from the car backing out or something like that. All these metals are now in your body. They have to go through some process to go through it. But if you don't have no oxygen in your body, the crazy thing is that 5G as a signal carries information that can, as the waves go through you, send signals to you to have you feel a certain way.
Yeah.
And that's what the crowd control kind of thing is about it. What I'm learning about is that it's used militarily, that if the signal goes off strong enough, it'll send everybody like, gotta go to the bathroom, or you're just feeling sick, which indicates I need to go home. Get the fuck away from here. I'm not feeling well.
Why do we even need 5G though?
That's a great question.
Yeah, why do we need 5G?
My only answer to that is people's demand for technology and how it's being used. People like the Wi-Fi and everything is wireless.
I read somewhere where I think, and of course the telecommunications companies are gonna make the argument that 5G isn't dangerous, but that they said that Wi-Fi has stronger radio frequency waves than 5G and a microwave.
But it does have a microwave.
Yeah.
That's already been constituted. And you got to think when microwaves first got here. They told you don't stand in front of them.
Yeah.
The reason for that, I remember when flip phones was just being used, that you had to be in a certain area to catch a signal. Because they didn't have enough satellites, enough towers to catch a signal. You had to actually stand. Oh shit, watch out. You had to stand in a corner to use the damn phone. But now you can go anywhere and your signal will pick up. The reason why I think we're adjusting to it the way we are, because I call these niggas mad scientists, the ones that know all of these things we research and find answers to, that they already got the answers to, but sitting here manipulating us with. These bastards, man, they had to know the human body can endure. It's just a matter of rolling it out and making it believable to serve a purpose. Now, my purpose and what my thought of the purpose is when it comes to technology is just to stray you away from nature. So you don't have the same Wi-Fi connection with nature as you should, because you're worrying about Wi-Fi working in your house artificially. What we've learned to become is more artificial humans than actual humans.
Yeah.
We've missed that. We've missed that whole boat. Like I told you, between drinking and water and just breathing, we as humans have not adapted to, damn, I'm doing it wrong. It hasn't clicked in. Because we're so used to everything else, everything becomes second nature. We're not worried about that. As long as I got a good Pepsi, or some Hennessy, or some fucking Kool-Aid that tastes good, or great cold apple juice, or cold beer, water, fuck out of here. But you're made up of 60% of water.
Yeah.
And what other thing that you can mirror or reflect that's 80% water? The planet you fucking live on.
Yeah.
But what do we do with that water? It's just as dirty and fucked up.
Yeah.
Because of how we use it. We don't see the parallel. But this fascinates us. The bells, the whistles, the buttons, and we get caught in that world and forgetting about that world. And that's the most important world. That world been here for billions of years. This ain't even a baby. This is still an infant, my nigga. And look at where look where we're in just 40 years.
It's just about to say how scary it's gonna be. You think another 40 years from now, what it's gonna look
You
like.
ever seen the building that Apple created? For
Which
the Apple, I guess it's headquarters.
Cupertino?
You seen that circular?
Mm-hmm.
Shit, like people live in there, son.
Yeah. Well, even look, even in terms of Wi-Fi once upon a time was just specifically for home use, right? But now, you think about how the companies have now picked up. So now, if you get cable or whatever or internet service from Xfinity, you can then tap into Xfinity in the community where other people using Xfinity and everything. So it's just a huge electromagnetic field that we absorb, and these.
You gotta remember,
frequency.
the human body is going through so many light waves. We're going through. That's why I love the sun.
The sun rays.
Because that wave of light is the light that needs to be speaking to us as ethnic people. If you ask me, I think we're people of the sun. You know, my heritage goes back to as Warsaw Cherokees, and my grandfather is from Venezuela. And if you look at Venezuela is right on the fucking equator, my nigga. So they in the sun all the time. As it just made sense to me, like, yo, as a kid, as soon as the sun came up, I wanted to be outside. I was outside 7:30 in the morning, son.
Yeah.
When that shit is baking. That shit is on you. But back then, that's when summers were summers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And you can smell it in the air. Just shit was different. Now, with all of this Wi-Fi shit, and niggas shooting chemtrails in the air, you don't know if you're going to get a summer. It might still be winter. It might snow in fucking July, my nigga.
Yeah.
They got shit so twisted. And that's what 5G, Wi-Fi, radar waves, radio waves, satellite waves, all them satellites, you distort the natural rotation of what's already spinning at a crazy speed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And such is life.
So what do you say skeptics that's like, because there are a number of people who feel 5G is responsible for the coronavirus, and there are other people that flat out
just
dispel
look,
it like,
look,
nah,
look.
that's not the case.
Well,
There's just a lot of things that seem to correspond at the same time when you start talking about Wuhan and
I was told there's no such thing as a coincidence.
yeah.
I've always believed that. I don't sit here and say, all right, that's just that's just the way of throwing you off so they don't want you to see or ask questions as to why they so close and parallel. Like, why are we dealing with Corona coming out of Wuhan at the same time 5G is being implemented?
Yeah.
And it worked out there.
Yeah.
And they're promoting how it worked out there as far as the Corona, how they had to quarantine everyone, and now everyone is cool. They're back to order.
Mm-hmm.
It's all double speak. You saying yes to one thing, but you're saying yes to another at the same time. That's just the chess game of America, man.
Technology, right? We willing to die to be able to get to log in faster. That's scary.
That's scary. So you can sit somewhere, not be outside. Remember, cause you gotta be indoors to deal with that. Primarily, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't have servers out sitting in the middle of the yard. I'm just sitting in a room with so much AC blaring. Some shit don't blow the fuck up.
Yeah.
Now, even wifey at home right now, working from home, got to call in. And sometimes the network is not running right, so she got to hit the IT niggas up to make sure the server, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's all server checking to make sure everything is connected. So this person, they can get their VPN, and you can get your VPN going on over here. They can get theirs going on. Y'all can channel into the stock exchange to make sure your numbers.
Yeah. Now, from what I'm hearing, though, they're saying that 5G, you know, the speed is a lot faster, but the quality of it isn't what they thought it would be. I guess they haven't worked out the kinks yet.
Nah, because look, the stuff that it can, not only can it cause cancer, but like I said, the stress that it's gonna put on the human body. That's the part that once you get all this stuff going, because you gotta remember, man, the human body is an electrical unit. It's electromagnetic, male, female. We all got it in us, and when you got them waves going through it, it's gonna suggest certain light information to you, and that part about the human body, people, I don't think are aware of that you are electrical, B.
Because people don't realize or believe that we're electrical. Nah,
they just think we get up, we eat, we shit, we go to work. And I live in the Bronx, so I live in fucking California. I'm a meat just eating machine. Well, nah, you're magnificent.
Yeah.
The shit that we, man, listen, yo.
Yeah.
Tell him we can unpack some shit, bro. And I think we should, and you know, and research is only gonna, behold for us a plethora of things we probably didn't even know we gonna find out. And trust me, man, so many things parallel as to why we should be talking about hemp and getting that together from a legacy or setting your family up with
generational
generational wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I spoke about the Kennedys. John F. Kennedy, his dad was a prohibition. He was a booze smuggler. Made fortunes off of it. Ever to send all his sons to the best of everything. We know the Kennedy life.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And because that man lost his life, some of that, you know what I'm saying? It was just that kind of like, man, you're a son of a bootlegger. You ain't really nobody. But his father afforded his kids to have the best of life.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want that for their children, man? Regardless of what I had to do. And I learned that from my father, man. My father was in them streets, hustling, and, you know.
Because he didn't want it for you.
He made sure I seen it. To say, you're not doing that.
Yeah.
Don't even get the idea. I lie you not. The moment I tried, the first time I tried, I got locked up. So I tried it. I did try it. You tell your kids not to do some shit, they go ahead and
You're
do
gonna
it.
do it anyway, yeah. Yeah.
First time I got an opportunity, it wasn't even nowhere on the scale of what he was doing. Because, let me say, I was 5, 6 years old, and me and my father were taking, honestly, we were taking personal jets to Minnesota just to shop at Mall of America. We would take personal jets to Dallas just to shop at the Nordstrom's warehouse in Dallas. And I'm 5. I used to get the little TWA wings.
Huh?
Remember TWA, the airlines? They used to have I don't know, they call them 4G, 5G jets. But jets back then were a lot different.
G4.
G4, whatever. Jets back then were a little different. But I remember, honestly, like it was not, we being on an airplane, and there was almost no seats. It was just like a play area.
Room.
It's like a living room, right?
A living room.
And I'm there with 2, 3 other little white kids. We're just kids, though. And we're just sitting there, we're looking out the window. It's like, oh, we're still here in the air. There's clouds. And we're going. I remember eating at Howard Johnson. My father having a big fur coat on. But he was showing me the things, what to do and what not to do. And I remember at the age 13, we were right there on the corner of Corsa and Hicks. And right before
That's
we
the
turned...
North Bronx, if y'all don't know.
North Bronx, baby. Boston Road. And we were right to turn into Corsa. And he stopped the car. He said, I want to tell you something. I want to show you something. You know, half of your friends going to get locked up. So what are you talking about? He said, listen, don't go out on that block. You're going to get locked up too because you ain't no hustler. He said, look, you're so much a kid that even if it intrigued you, you want to be a kid. You're not ready to give up that life. So while you got a ball in your hand, but you still want to make money, they gonna come and get your stupid ass. You're gonna be locked up like the rest of your friends.
Yeah.
And he showed me who was getting locked up. If he was 90% right, man.
Yeah.
And from that point on, you know, a lot of my friends dibbled and dabbled. I never touched them shit.
Yeah.
And they used to always ask me, yo, Rob, why you ain't? I'm like, because y'all niggas like getting chased by cops. I'm going to play ball, son. I'm not going to do that to me, brother.
On a sports note, though, because we ain't chopping up about Tom Brady.
What you feel about that?
Pats. I respect
I respect his decision. I want to see
mind.
him on that. Now I want to play Madden with him in Tampa Bay. Just because.
Tampa Bay ain't going to the Super Bowl, though. They're not going to the Super Bowl. They're going to go to the playoffs, but they're not going to go to the Super Bowl. And you know what he did by doing this for us? He gave us the opportunity to find out. You know what the great debate is, right? Is it Brady or Belichick? We about to find out.
Well, Belichick come from the Parcells Street. Let's keep it real. He was
to me, Belichick the greatest head coach of all time in the NFL.
He was our defensive coordinator in '86 and I think and '90. I think was he there for both?
He was our
there
coach.
for one.
Our coach, the Jets, for one day.
Right, but he was there for the Giants titles though.
Yeah, he was
as defensive coordinator.
Yeah, he came from the
Parcells. So I always look at that as I got a Giant guy. He's just in a Patriot uniform.
I can't stand the Patriots.
I don't like him either.
I can't stand the Patriots, but I respect Tom Brady, and I do think that Tom Brady is cementing his legacy. And for him to sign with them for 2 years, and for 2 years for him to do it for his family, he got the bag. He getting $25 million.
I just hope they protect him the way they protected him up there on the field.
With a line?
Yeah.
Well,
he's gonna need that.
They need, you know why they need a line too, or whatever. Like, yo, he got 2 really good receivers too.
Yeah.
He got 2 really good receivers.
Was it Mike Evans?
Yeah.
Number 13. Yeah. Son, that's why I'm saying you give him a couple seconds,
That's yeah. He got two.
He's
really
in a
good
game,
receivers.
and the thing, the last couple of years, he didn't have any primetime receivers.
Now he had
Really?
check down receivers. When
Yeah,
you start
check
talking
down,
about the
Edelman.
Edelman and Amendola.
Yeah, come on, son. Those is them dudes that catch a couple of passes here or there.
5 yards.
Or someone
out
like
of the
Mike
slot.
Evans.
Yeah.
He got a number one dude. That's a Randy Moss to him. Like, I got a number one dude right here. That's really. They learn them schemes and them scans and whatever gameplay Tampa Bay got. Cause look,
And he got Bruce Arians as the head coach.
keeping it real, homeboy that was in there. What was the quarterback there?
Jameis Winston.
He was throwing 30 touchdowns.
He threw 30 interceptions.
Yeah,
So,
no, but,
he 30,
but
30
the
club.
same. If it's the same system, I don't think Brady's gonna throw 30.
No, Brady ain't gonna throw 30.
That's my point.
Yeah, Brady's never been, to me, Brady's never been physically gifted. Cerebral,
yeah.
Yeah.
You know how to stay
Like
out the way,
yeah.
and he's not a scrambler. He'll fall on the floor.
Yeah, and to me, he
That's
he's
smart.
he's a better thinker. He outthinks people. He's not relying on his physical attributes. He's more so relying on mental.
His physical
attributes.
attribute is the way he throws the ball. If that is gone, that's when he's gonna leave. The fact that he can still get it out, and whatever time second he got in his mind, whether it's 2 seconds or 3 seconds, without just maybe just getting ruffled just a little bit, that's his safety mechanism.
Yeah.
If he start getting popped,
Yeah.
the hand-eye coordination ain't there.
As far as I'm concerned, Brady playing with house money though. He could go there and
He
lose
go any way he wants.
Yeah, he could go there and lose every game. And
What
when
2
you get-
years, $50 million? That's
Yeah.
25 a year.
Yeah, 25 a year, and we got six rings. Like, he
That's
brings
a
some
better
luxury.
resume than that.
Yeah, he did it. He did it his way. So I'm
I ain't
like,
mad.
I was surprised though, because for the longest people, was
It's
telling
good to
me
see
he
him in
gonna
the
leave.
tent.
I'm like,
I like their
nah,
uniforms anyway. Look, he make him look a little like a villain now,
Respectable?
like a superhero now.
Yeah, you know, everybody who hated Tom Brady now is gonna be a fan of Tom Brady, because people don't really hate Tom Brady. They hated
They
Patriots.
hate the Patriots.
Yeah, Jameis Winston unemployed, Cam Newton unemployed.
Nobody picked
rough.
them up.
Nobody. Cam Newton coming off a foot injury though, and Jameis Winston is coming off a
But you
30
think
touchdowns.
you think about it. There ain't no spots.
Chargers. Tyrod Taylor right now is the starting quarterback.
No, Rivers is gone.
Rivers is in Indianapolis. Rivers is in Indianapolis.
So who
And
will
then
go?
also you see
They might get Cam.
They may. You see Chicago
Nick
got
Foles. Nick Foles.
Yeah, Nick Foles. Nick Foles is their backup. So Mitch Trubisky, he may want to be. He's gonna be looking over his shoulder because he may not have a job for long there.
Somebody even picked up Mariota.
Yes.
The Raiders?
The Raiders got Mariota. I guess John Gruden probably figured he could do something with him. Yeah. I'm still not sold. No, like somebody, I was listening to talk radio, and they were saying that Arizona, out west, is now going to be number 2 behind the 49ers.
They picked up Dante Hopkins his name? From
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sold on that. I still think that the Seahawks are better than them. And I think that the Rams will probably be an 8-8 team. I just don't think
Gurley got let go too.
he was the Falcons.
He went to the Falcons.
He with the Falcons. He with the Falcons now. The
Wow.
Dirty Birds. He with the Falcons. Football is. I mean, that's a whole nother subject we could get into, boy. Football, the career expectancy, you might get like 5 years. The money ain't guaranteed unless it's a bonus.
I'm telling you, with the introduction of CBD, it might.
You think players gonna last
might
longer?
lengthen some careers, man. The studies are showing from the inflammation that the body's impact from pounding the ground or hitting the ground or just direct impact. The inflammation of when you smoke hemp, whether you take it in the oil form, whether you're taking the CBD, whether you're taking the lotion, whether you're smoking it, I'm telling you, it's the cannabinoid. Them things, I'm telling you, yo, you seen everything I read down to you, bro.
You know why I don't think the length for careers will extend? Because it'll be even playing field and everybody will have the opportunity to reap the benefits of it.
You think?
Yeah, and I don't think that the human body was meant to take that kind of grueling punishment.
No, you're absolutely right. Human body was meant to last for generations. You know what I'm saying? With just being not as zen, but you would have to deal with the cataclysms of the world, whether it was cold or the elements or whatever. But what's the term or word I'm looking for? Direct impact, on purpose impact, purposeful impact. The way hockey and basketball and football, you would definitely break bones and shift spleens.
Yeah,
and
that's
you see Earl Campbell. See how man can't walk, but when he was on that football field, son, he was running through everything, son.
So hopefully the players that's getting that money, that guaranteed money, actually invest in marijuana.
Does LeBron really spend $1 million on his body?
That's what I heard. He go to hyperbaric chambers and a lot of his off-season regimen during the season is eating right.
That's sports science. That's
and Kobe was doing. Kobe was doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Doing that too.
That's a whole different beast, man. Now, imagine what that's doing for the extension of life. Yeah. But you have to be regimen ready for that. That's not something you just go pop in like a microwave and you get a long life. You got to be.
Well, that's one of the reasons why they said that Brady left the Patriots, because his trainer, Bill Belichick, fell out with the trainer and didn't want the trainer.
That's probably what kept him keeping his ass here.
Exactly. And now that trainer,
is the trainer in Tampa Bay?
They said that Brady put his house on the market in Boston. The trainer put his house on the market in Boston also.
Yeah, he's out.
Now the trainer going, but Bruce Arians
they got something to prove. Watch Brady be quarterbacking at 50.
Bruce Arians already.
I said it first.
They asked him about.
I said it first on this channel. Brady's gonna be quarterbacking at 50.
They asked Bruce Arians about Antonio Brown. He was like, "Nah, he ain't coming though."
Nah, son,
They don't want nothing.
He's exiled. He's exiled from the NFL, man.
Yeah.
They don't want to deal with that dude no more.
But
he wanted to be out of it. He didn't want to deal with the football shit no more. He wanted. That was his.
He started doing the TO shit.
That was his way of bailing out. Like, I don't want to deal with this no more.
The TO shit. There's no other word. Look, I wish there was a professional word to say it, but it is what it is. It's fuckery. Like, the TO shit. Yeah. That's what people don't realize. Like, when you have the talent and the athletic ability, and
to do just about any fucking thing,
winning, like, people will tolerate it a little bit more, but once you get injured or your performance slip a little bit, then after a while, all the antics, they like, yo, we ain't here for it. That's all right. You can sit on the sideline.
Right.
It's unfortunate because Antonio Brown he could still be a game changer for somebody. The dude could ball, but people don't want to deal with the antics.
Yeah, who wants to deal with that? Just play ball.
Yeah, people don't want to deal with the antics.
But I'm saying,